Welcome to my channel, Department of Chemistry, University of Kashmir. Today is our third video of Unit 2nd, that is NMR. And in this video, we will derive an expression for resonance frequency and Larmor frequency as well. And in this video, we will discuss what is the Larmor frequency and what is the effect of magnetic field on the Larmor frequency. So let us start. Expression of resonance frequency. As I will revise a little bit of my previous video so that you will understand the expression very well. As I have already told you that our hydrogen nucleus is associated with the two nuclear spin states, +1/2 state and -1/2 state, and both the spin states are degenerate in the absence of external magnetic field. As we apply the external magnetic field, what happens? The nuclear spin states will interact with the external magnetic field. The result is the decrease in energy, and one spin state will repelled by the external magnetic field, and results with the increase in energy, and with the result the separating of spin states will occur. But there is a point: if we increase the external magnetic field, the separating between the spin states will increase. Suppose this is our two spin states +-1/2. Okay, as we apply the external magnetic field B0, okay, what happens? The separating of spin states will occur. This +1/2 and this -1/2, and the separating will be equal to the delta E. Okay, but if we increase the strength of magnetic field, what happens? If we increase the strength of magnetic field B0 such that B0, this is B01, this is B02, okay, B02 is greater than B01, what happens? The separating will increase more, okay, and delta E, this is the delta E1, this is delta E2, and this is the delta E1 due to the B01, and this is delta E2 due to the B02. So the delta E2 is greater than delta E2 is greater than delta E1. Okay, now what is the difference between the delta E2 and delta E1? Nothing. Delta E2 is the greater energy, greater separating, and the delta E1. Why it is a greater separating? Because we have applied the higher strength of magnetic field. So from this diagrams we come to know that if we increase the strength of external magnetic field, what happens? The interaction between the nuclear spin states will increase. So the magnetic moment of hydrogen nucleus is the fixed. So it is the one catch is in our hand is that to increase the strength of external magnetic field. So if we increase the strength of external magnetic field, the interaction will increase. So if we write energy of interaction, E, energy of interaction between the nuclear spin state and the external magnetic field is equal to the minus mu, magnetic moment of nucleus, multiplied by Bz, external magnetic field. Okay, that means greater the this magnetic moment of hydrogen nucleus is fixed, and we have the one catch in hand, that is Bz. If we increase the Bz, the interaction will increase and the energy of interaction will increase. This negative sign indicates that this is the energy of interaction. Okay, so let us suppose this is our equation 1. Okay, what is the E? It is the energy of interaction between the magnetic moment of hydrogen nucleus and the primary applied external magnetic field. What is the mu? Mu is the magnetic moment associated with the nucleus, and Bz is the applied external magnetic field. Okay, as we know, this mu, magnetic moment of hydrogen nucleus, is equal to mu n G n I. Okay, this mu n This is a constant quantity and is equal to CH cross divided by 2 MP. This is the charge. Okay, this is the Planck's constant and 2 and mass of the proton. When we give the values of this equation, we find when we give that is 1.6 charge is equal to 1.602 into 10 raised power minus 19 coulombs multiplied by 1.055 into 10 raised power minus 34 joule second, okay, divided by 2 into mass of proton, okay, that is 1.67 into 10 raised power minus 27 kg. When we solve this equation, finally we get 5.05 into 10 raised power minus 27 joule per second. Okay, this is the value of mu. What is the mu? Mu is the nuclear magneton, and this nuclear magneton is constant quantity and it is equal to C into H cross divided by 2 MP. This is constant, this is constant, this is constant, and this is constant, and when we solve we get a constant for the hydrogen nucleus. Okay, what is the Gn? Gn is the nuclear G factor. Nuclear G factor. It is different for different nuclei and is determined experimentally. So it is different for different nuclei, and is determined experimentally. Okay, we call it as an equation second. Okay, we write here substitute equation second in equation first. Substitute equation second in equation first, we get, okay, we write E, energy of interaction, is equal to the minus, in place of mu is equal to this quantity, in place of mu we write this quantity, mu and Gn Bz into I. Okay, this is the expression of energy of interaction in the hydrogen nucleus or any other nucleus. Okay, but as we know from the quantization that the spin of hydrogen nucleus is quantized, this angular momentum is quantized, so the energy of nuclear spin status is given by the Mi values. Because they have two Mi values, so there will be two energy equations. There is no, if there had not been a quantization, then there should be a one energy expression, that is this, but their energies are quantized, so each level has its own energy. These levels are represented by Mi values, so we write there, we have two Mi values for hydrogen nucleus, so two Mi values must have the two energy expression. We will derive these two expression and find out the resonance frequency. Suppose for our hydrogen nucleus, you write first a few lines. As we know, nuclear spin is quantized under the influence of external magnetic field so the energy of nuclear spins energy of nuclear spins is given by Mi values. As we know, for our hydrogen nucleus we have two Mi values. As we know, for hydrogen nucleus we have two Mi values, that is plus 1 by 2 comma minus 1 by 2. Okay, now case first we determine the energy of if Mi value is plus 1 by 2. Okay, we have obtained the general energy expression. This energy is equal to the minus mu n Gn into Bz into I. Okay, now if we have to determine the energy of Mi values, the expression for this is E, energy of Mi values, okay, is equal to minus mu n this Gn and Bz. In place of I we write Mi. Okay, this is the energy expression for Mi values, from which we substitute the value of Mi and we get the energy. Case first is we find out the energy if Mi value is plus 1 by 2. So we find out the energy of Mi value plus 1 by 2. We write this expression, energy of Mi value 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, okay, is equal to minus mu n Gn Bz, and in place of Mi, whose Mi is plus 1 by 2, that's plus 1 by 2. Okay, now energy of plus 1 by 2 is equal to plus and minus is equal to minus mu n Gn Bz 1 divided by 2. Okay, this is the energy associated with the nuclear spin state plus 1 by 2. As I have already told you that we have two spin states, first degenerate, and one spin state will interact and one spin state will repel. That is plus 1 by 2 state will interact with the external magnetic field and minus 1 by 2 state will repel with the external magnetic field. And if we find the energy of plus 1 by 2 state, we have find out this, the energy of this spin state of this magnetic moment, which is in plus 1 by 2 state, is equal to energy of plus 1 by 2 state is equal to the minus 1 by 2 mu n Gn Bz. Okay, this minus indicates that energy of spin state has decreased, that energy has been decreased. Minus indicate energy is decreased, energy is decreased. Okay, now this was our case first, find to determine the energy of mi if is equal to plus 1 by 2. As we know, we have another mi value, that is minus 1 by 2. We find out the energy of minus mi, minus 1 by 2. Case second, if mi value is minus 1 by 2, we substitute the value in this expression, this is our general expression, and find out the energy. Energy of minus 1 by 2 of mi value minus 1 by 2 is equal to the minus mu n gn bz, and in place of this mi we have to write minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2. This energy minus 1 by 2 is equal to the mi value minus 1 by 2. Minus and minus is equal to plus mu n gn bz, and this 1 by 2 I will write first. Okay, this plus indicates that the energy of system energy of surface state has increased. That will, I have already told you that minus 1 by 2 state will repel by the external magnetic field with the result of increased energy. That is indicated by the expression as well. Here plus indicates the energy is increased. This is increase in energy. Increase in energy. Okay, so if mi value is minus 1 by 2, so its energy is equal to the plus 1 by 2 mu n gn into bz. Okay, then I have told you, if we shine our certain status by RF radio frequency of energy equal to the delta E, this delta E is equal to h nu of frequency h nu, what will happen? The plus 1 by 2 state will flip into the minus 1 by 2 state, and minus 1 by 2 state flip into the plus 1 by 2 state, and result this process is known as a flipping. Now I have already told you previous that this energy difference delta is equal to the delta E. This delta E is equal to the E2 minus E1 is equal to that. This delta is equal to the h nu. Okay, or we know the E2 is this one and E1 is this one, and we can find out the delta E, or we can find out the frequency. Suppose if our E2, or if not, this E2 is this one, we write plus 1 by 2 mu n gn bz. Then this minus of expression minus, and of this E1 is this one, that is minus 1 by 2 mu n gn bz. Okay, we write here, this is our h nu. Okay, because this quantity is equal to the h nu, we write h nu is equal to the, this is plus 1 by 2 mu n gn bz, plus minus is equal to plus 1 by 2 mu n gn bz. Okay, this is half mu n gn bz, and this is half mu n b n gz. Half and half is equal to the 1. So we write here h nu is equal to the mu n gn bz. Okay, we write here nu, the frequency. This is also known as a resonance frequency, because why we call the resonance frequency, when we shine the sample of energy equal to the delta E, what happens? The resonance will occurs, and so we call it a resonance frequency. This is a resonance frequency. Resonance frequency. Okay, this resonance frequency is equal to the mu n gn bz, this quantity, and we h was first here, we take it divided by h here. Okay, and this is the expression for the resonance frequency. As we know from the expression, this mu n is the constant. Okay, it is always given in the question. This gn is also a constant, and Planck's constant is, this is in Planck's constant, it is also a constant. So only variable is the magnetic field. So if you anytime face a question of this equation, you can these three parameters must have given, and you have to only substitute the value of external magnetic field, and you will find the resonance frequency. And it is a very important equation. Many questions have came from in the CSIR net or from this equation. Okay. Now we have find that our resonance frequency nu is equal to mu n G n Bz divided by H. Now the second part of our topic is the Larmor precession or Larmor frequency. So we write the heading expression for Larmor frequency. First, we try to know about what is the Larmor frequency and what is the Larmor precession. After that, we will derive an expression of Larmor frequency. Okay, as I have already told you that when we apply the external magnetic field to our nuclear superstatus, what happens? This magnetic, it is this superstate is associated with the magnetic moment. In absence of external magnetic field, initially it was spinning. It is spinning along the z-axis. Okay, but as we apply the external magnetic field, what happens? Suppose this was z-axis along which it is spinning, but when we apply the external magnetic field, this will not now spin along the z-axis, but it will rotate around the z-axis. Okay, this rotation is known, this circular motion is known as a precession. Okay, or we call it as this is known as a Larmor precession. Okay, Larmor, we use word because of the honor of scientist, that was the Larmor who discovered this Larmor frequency or Larmor precession. So this circular motion is known as a Larmor precession. Don't you think that this Larmor precession has some frequency around the z-axis? Okay, because it is rotating around, it is moving around the z-axis at some frequency, it is complete number of cycles at some rate. So don't you think it has some frequency? You think number of cycles that completed, the frequency at which this magnetic moment is rotated is circulating. This is known as a Larmor frequency. Okay, you try to again. I have taken a model. You try to understand this point. This is very important. Suppose this is our z-axis. Okay, this is our z-axis, and this is our precessing cone. What is a precessing cone? Nothing. It is a circular motion of magnetic moment with the result of formation of a cone. Okay, this cone is rotating around the z-axis. This rotation has some frequencies because number of cycles completed in 1 second is known as a frequency. This is also cycles. Okay, these cycles are completed at some frequency. Number of the rate at which the precession frequency, the rate at which the Larmor precession occurs is known as the Larmor frequency, or the rate at which the magnetic moment is circulating around the z-axis is known as the Larmor frequency. Okay, getting? Now, we have already told you in the starting lecture that we have two spin states. Okay, this is our B naught external magnetic field. By the application of external magnetic field, what happens? The splitting will occur. But if we increase the central mass of external magnetic field, the splitting of spin status will increase, and the result is the more energy difference between the two spin status. Actually, what is in reality what is happening? This precession, this circular motion depends upon the external magnetic field. If we increase the external magnetic field, thus rotation, the circulatory motion of magnetic field will increase. If the circulatory motion of magnetic field will increase, that means it is processing at high frequency. That means if it is processing at high frequency, do you know that at the frequency at which this magnetic moment is rotated is known as processing frequency. Okay, but when we shine our status with radio frequency, the frequency that matches with this frequency, Lerner frequency, that electromagnetic radiation is absorbed. Basically, the frequency that is this Lerner frequency, and when we shine the radio frequency, okay, when this radio frequency and this frequency matches, in that time the cone in the higher energy state changes into the lower energy state, and in lower energy state changes into the higher energy state. Okay, but this precession depends upon the external magnetic field. Suppose we decrease the strength of external magnetic field, what happens? If we decrease the strength of external magnetic field, the precession will occur very low frequency. Okay, then we have to apply the radio frequency at low frequency. That means low frequency, there will be the resonance. But if we increase the strength of external magnetic field, classically we say there is a splitting mode. Actually, this is not splitting mode. The precession will be at high frequency, and we have to shine the sample at that frequency. Then there will be absorption. So high frequency, high strength of external magnetic field, greater is the precession, and greater we have to apply the radio frequency. Lower the strength of external magnetic field, lower is the precession. Okay, Lerner frequency, and lower radio frequency will be applied for the resonance. Okay, so we have to come to know from our discussion that this Lerner frequency depends upon the strength of external magnetic field. So we write here this omega L, we write as the Lerner frequency, is directly proportional to the Bz that we apply the external magnetic field along the z axis. So we will write the Bz. Okay, we remove this proportionality by some constant. We write omega L is equal to gamma Bz. Okay, this is the expression of the resonance frequency. Okay, this gamma is known as gyrometric ratio. Gamma is gyrometric ratio. Okay, we know this omega is omega. This L is a Lerner symbol of that is Lerner frequency. Okay, we know omega is equal to 2 pi nu. Okay, but it is L, we write it is omega L nu L. Okay, we write omega L is equal to 2 pi nu L. Okay, we substitute this into this equation, because in place of omega L we write 2 pi nu L. We write 2 pi nu L is equal to the gamma into Bz. Okay, nu L, Lerner frequency, is equal to the gamma divided by 2 pi into Bz. This is a very important expression of Lerner frequency. This is on the Lerner frequency, and it is equal to the gamma divided by 2 pi into Bz. Gamma is constant and 2 pi is constant. Only the variable is the Bz. If you have given these three parameters and only Bz, these are constant, and only Bz, you have to substitute and find out the Lerner frequency. Okay, we can derive this expression from this expression as well. And how? Let's we see. As we know, this is the gamma. Gamma is known as the gyrometric ratio. This gyrometric ratio is the ratio of magnetic moment associated with the hydrogen nucleus and the spin angular momentum. That is, this gamma is the ratio of magnetic moment associated with the hydrogen nucleus divided by spin angular momentum, that is I h cross. Okay, I h cross, and gamma is equal to, we know this mu in the initially I have told you this mu magnetic moment associated with the hydrogen nucleus is equal to the mu n gn into bz. Okay, sorry, this mu n gn into I. Okay, we substitute the value of mu in this equation. We write, in place of mu we write this one, mu n gn I divided by I into h cross. Okay, this I and I will go. Okay, what will get? Gamma is equal to mu n gn only gn divided by h cross. Okay, we write here, we take this h cross to here, it becomes gamma h cross is equal to mu n and gn. Okay, you see, you look this equation, this is gamma h cross is equal to mu n and gn. We write this nu is equal to the, in place of mu n and gn, because mu n and gn is equal to gamma into h cross, so we write in place of mu and gn we write gamma h cross, and bz, it is own divided by h of this. This nu is equal to gamma, this h cross is actually h divided by 2 pi. Okay, and is bz and is own h. Okay, this h and h will go, this nu is equal to gamma, this divided by 2 pi into bz. Okay, and this equation and Larmor frequency that this Larmor frequency that I have derived yet, I have derived this equation from this equation as well. So it is all about the expression of resonance frequency and Larmor frequency as well. So in the next lecture, we will discuss what is the spin-spin relaxation and spin-lattice relaxation, how we get the NMR's signal, and what is the saturation, and what are the various phenomena that is involved in the these two relaxations, and why they are important, is they have any significance in the NMR spectroscopy. So thank you for watching.